Hey everyone, welcome to Cross the Ditch and See. My name is Laura and I'm so glad you're here today. Today I want to show you how to do that right there, to set up grow lights. It's actually not as expensive to do it on your own as it is to buy one as a kit from a seed catalog or a store. So I want to show you how to do grow lights on the cheap. So when I first started getting into starting seeds for our garden a few years ago, what I would do was put my seeds in trays or in bottles like you see right here, and I would set them out on the front walkway in the sunshine during the daytime when it was warm outside, and then I would take them in at night, and that worked really well. But it kind of got to be a hassle bringing them in and out every day, and sometimes I would forget and lose seedlings. But still, that is an option. Put your seeds in trays, put them in cups, bottles, things like that, and then just bring them out each and every day and let them sit in the sun and get warm and grow. And last year, my father-in-law gifted me this grow light setup with a heat mat, and I felt like a total garden queen after that. I know that sounds funny, but I was so excited to have an actual real grow light. So this one, I don't know what brand this is. I don't know where he got it from, but this is the one I used last year, and it worked incredibly well getting the stuff started for our winter garden. But you just adjust, the lights are underneath. As you can see right there, I need to clean them. But you just adjust it by raising this table up and down, and then the seeds sit underneath it, which you can see my seeds here. I have a lot of strawberries planted out here. They don't mind growing in the cold. They actually do better that way because the seeds have to be cold for a certain amount of time before they'll germinate. But I just put it under here, and then once things sprout, I'll turn the light on and adjust the table height as needed. So fast forward to this year, I really wanted to up our seed starting, and that meant I needed more space and more lights. So I started doing some research and found how you could actually set up a grow station in your home or outside, wherever you need to, using a wire rack and some shop lights. Pretty cheap. You can buy kits online and build it off of the kit. They run kind of expensive, at least in my opinion. I like to do things cheaply, but this setup is a heck of a lot cheaper and has just as much growing space on it. So let me show you how to do this one. So initially we started out with this little guy, little 3-tiered wire rack that I picked up from Amazon. I think it was like 25 bucks, and it worked really well. I set my seed trays on it while I waited for them to germinate, because you do not need light for germination for most seeds. And then once they sprouted, I ran a really thin LED light, this one right here. I picked this up for 10 bucks from Walmart. It's a LED shop light. Plugged it in, used some chain that I picked up at Tractor Supply, used some chain to hang it and plug it in, and it worked really well. But then all my other seeds started sprouting, so I really needed to do a little bit larger area for grow lights. So that's where we went to. I'm gonna try to back up without falling. We did this. Hey baby. So the wire rack behind me I picked up at Lowe's. You can get them on Amazon. I think you can buy some at Walmart and other places, but I picked this one up from Lowe's. It was $79. So not super cheap, but a lot cheaper than other places and a lot cheaper than the pre-built kits. And it's just the 5-tier metal rack setup. It was pretty easy to put together once we figured out why our shelves were cattywampus initially when we first got started, but we got that fixed and we got it put up, and from there, that was the hard part. From there, we just added shop lights, and I put my heat mat up here and slid my trays underneath it, and my seedlings are happily growing. So here is the shop light setup. I have 2 lights on each shelf because you want to have even coverage of light across your seedlings. Remember, your seedlings, when they grow, they're going to stretch to get to that light. So if you have plenty of light, your seedlings will not get leggy and they will grow nice and strong. See if I can get focused on them. There you go. Little tomato seedlings. And I had a few of my peppers starting to sprout last night. You see them right back there. There he is. So this is the grow light that I'm using. It is actually a shop light. Once again, if you buy something that says grow light on it, it'll be fine, but you're gonna pay more because it says grow light. This is a shop light that costs $14 and some change from Walmart. It is 3200 lumens and it is 5000 Kelvin. When you're looking at the shop lights, you want to make sure it says daylight. That way you will have enough light to grow your seedlings appropriately. So when you open your box, you'll have your shop light. It already has the LED strips in it, so you don't have to worry about bulbs. And then it comes with a kit that has like anchors in it. It has the chains and the S-hooks that you'll need to hold them up. So now with my lovely assistants, my husband and one of my dogs, we're going to show you how to hang your lights. First of all, you want to make sure your plug is on the end that your receptacle is on. I have my plugs, because we have so many, going into a power strip here to be plugged in. So the first thing you want to do is figure out your spacing. Like I said, I have 2 grow lights here. If you're only doing like one tray's length, or one tray's width, you probably could get away with using one shop light. But once again, remember that the more light you have, the stronger your seedlings will be. That way they won't have to grow towards and stretch to reach that light. So I have 2 here because eventually I'm going to turn my trays, whoops, keep hitting them, so they go lengthwise, or go the width of this versus the length. But you just want to figure out your spacing. So I have these 4 lines in, so I'm just going to come up here to the top and go 4 lines in, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then bracing on kind of a crossbar here like that. My husband did it on the other side. All right, so next you're just going to make sure you have your S-hook. This is nothing fancy. You just find a hole to hook it into. And then we're going to feed the light into the rack. And then he's just going to hook the S-hook onto a chain. And initially you can kind of hook it anywhere you want to and then adjust it later. So here we have our chain into our S-hooks, supporting the light. And then if you want to put 2 up, you just repeat the process for the second one. All right, so as you see, now we have 2 shelves of grow lights set up. Super easy to do. You actually can do this on your own. You don't have to have someone to help you. Now, we have these hung, and this is just us, on the 5th little chain up. However, when you put your, trying to get it to adjust to my veggies, when you hang your grow lights, anytime you have your seedlings under a grow light, you want to keep your grow light about 2 to 3 inches above your little seedlings. So here, these are my compost tomatoes. That's what I call them, because it's just random tomatoes that were grown in compost last year that I saved the seeds from. But this light is way too high for these seedlings. My seedlings are going to have to grow and stretch to get to that light, so they're going to get really leggy, and you don't want leggy seedlings because they will be a weaker plant. So I'm going to want to adjust my light down. Like I have these, this light is about 3 inches above my seedlings. So I'm going to adjust the height of this shop light. There we go. So it'll be a lot closer to my seedlings. All right, so I have my light a lot closer now. That way my seedlings can grow and they will not get leggy. So it's that easy to set up a grow light station in your home. Now, using these shop lights that are rated a daylight, these are good to grow your seedlings. However, if you're trying to grow your seedlings to full-size plants and to produce the fruit in the house, you're going to need a different rating of light to produce that fruit. You're going to need a different colored light, so that's when your kelvins are going to be a little bit different. As far as the heat mat is concerned, a heat mat is not necessary if you are starting your seedlings inside. The advantage to having a heat mat is for things like peppers and tomatoes. They really like the soil to be a lot warmer to germinate and to grow, particularly in these cooler months. So the heat mat just helps speed the germination and helps those plants to grow. Most people keep their homes pretty warm in the wintertime, so you don't necessarily have to have the seedlings or your seeds when you start them on a heat mat. It just may take a little bit longer to germinate without that heat mat. So once again, it's not a necessity. You can grow your seedlings without a heat mat. I have this one in here, and then I have one outside that my father-in-law gave me. I'm using this one strictly for my peppers and tomatoes, just so they will go ahead and germinate and start growing pretty strong. But I do have some other pepper and tomato seeds that are not on a heat mat, and they're growing. They're just taking a little bit longer to get started. So heat mat's not a necessary item. It's just kind of a little perk. Gives them a little bit of a head start. So don't stress if you don't have a heat mat. Just start your seeds, put them in the dirt, get your seeds started, and then once your seeds germinate and you see the little green seedlings pop out of the dirt, put them underneath a light, put them underneath a shop light, a grow light, whatever you have, whatever you can afford, and help them to grow strong so you'll have that head start in your garden when it warms up outside. As far as how long you should keep your grow lights on during the day, I typically turn mine on when I get up in the morning, and then I'll turn it off around supper time. As long as you let them go for around 12 hours a day, they should be fine. All right, well, that is just a quick and very basic introduction to setting up grow lights. You can make it as easy or as complicated as you want it. You can make it as cheap or as expensive as you want it. There are grow light kits out there available to purchase, or you can do like I did and get you some wire racks and set up grow lights using shop lights. A lot cheaper to do, and you can find other uses for it throughout the year as well. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope you will get out there and get your hands dirty and start some seeds. That way you'll have a good garden. Remember, it doesn't matter where you live. You can start seeds and you can grow food. It just takes a little creativity and a little time, and you will have some really awesome vegetables for you and your family this summer. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you come back to see me again, and I hope you have a blessed day.